Welcome to a new exciting episode of the award-winning radio show Momentum, which is an acronym for Moving Our Men Towards Upward Mobility. I'm JaDair McGowan, a junior here at the Detroit School of Arts, and today we have Mr. Michael Chisholm here at the Detroit School of Arts with us, and we are so excited to be speaking with him. Once again, I'm JaDair McGowan, and you're listening to Momentum, a radio show that gives young men a voice. Joining me today, once again, is Mr. Michael Chisholm. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you today? Thank you for having me.
I'm really good, and I'm so excited that you're here. We have a little bit to talk about. You have an amazing career in graphic and marketing and digital marketing, and we're going to talk about what those specifics looks like and why it is it's important to have male leadership and male influences in our lives so they can get us to greater purposes like it has for you. So once again, thank you for being here at DSA with us. We're so excited to have you here.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
So first, I want to talk about your background and how you got started in what you currently do. You stated earlier that you went to Eastern Michigan for computer science,
Yes.
and then later on got involved in digital marketing and graphic designing. But can you tell me why you were interested in going to school for computer science?
Computer science. My initial major in college was art. But I had a conversation with my mom one day, and she told me I need to find something else. so I was a pretty good artist. My father was an artist. My father was a graphic design artist, so I'd actually gotten into that before I got to college. But after that talk with my mom, I looked into a few things, and I finally decided on computer science, which is programming computers, and that's kind of how that started. That's how that came together.
Okay. Well, we've had you in our Momentum Men in Leadership talking to our young men a little bit earlier than right now, and Mr. Wynn stated that you talked a little bit about entrepreneurship and why that's important and how we can get started in that. Could you explain to us why that was an important topic to speak on?
It's important because the reality is, first of all, you learn a lot about the day-to-day life that most people live. A lot of people, they live the corporate America life. They live the 9-to-5 life, and you kind of get tied into that. And what entrepreneurship is it kind of frees you from that, but it holds you accountable, and your hard work is much more important, or much more. I'll use the word critical when it comes to entrepreneurship. If you're working hard at your 9-to-5 job, you may not accomplish much, but you may not lose your job either. When you're an entrepreneur and you're not working hard, it's going to fall apart. So I think it's important that in entrepreneurship, first of all, I think entrepreneurship is important because it takes you out of that mindset. It takes you out of that routine mindset, and it puts you into a world that is in your control, essentially, and a world where, as I had stated earlier, if you succeed, it's because you worked hard. But if you fail, it's on you as well. You can only blame yourself for it, just like you can give yourself credit for the success that you have. So it's important, but it's also very challenging.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And also, you not only are working hard for yourself as an entrepreneur, but you also make like great connections in the things that you do with like digital marketing and graphic designing. Can you explain why networking is important when you are in the business for yourself? Because when you work for someone, those things are probably already set up for you in some ways where you could just like punch a clock and come in. Mm-hmm. But when you're working for yourself, you have to build those own networking strategies for yourself so that you can have something to grow towards. So could you explain to us why networking is important?
Well, networking is actually key to growing a business. There's word of mouth, which is very powerful, but word of mouth it doesn't move as quickly as networking does. I work with one person, and they may tell 10 different people, mm-hmm. but how many of those people actually call me and get work from me or get service from me is a different story. However, when I go out and network, I go out and meet 100 different people at one event.
Right.
A lot of those people may call me back. 20, 30 of those people may call me back. And that is, one thing that's key about networking is you don't go in there with the mindset of, hey, I want to talk to these people and tell them what I do, and hopefully they'll like what I do and be interested in what I do and want my services. You go in with the mindset of letting them see who you are, and when you show them who you are, they are more likely to come to you for your services, just because they see that you are a likable person,
Right.
and they could potentially use your help on something, and they want to use your help on something. So networking, in a sense, is not networking as much as it is making friends and making acquaintances.
Yes. So I want to move a little bit to your background in doing graphic design. We're in an art school right now, and we have so many people who who are artists who do those types of things. We have some students who artists being displayed right now at the Detroit Institute of Arts, and in other places in Detroit for marketing and for commercials and things like that. So with your background, I know that your father, Mr. Glenn Chisholm, was an amazing graphic designer who has done work in the Church of God in Christ and other organizations for artists. I believe he's a Emmy Award winner for some of his art that he has promoted and done. How important was him in your life for what you have done in graphic designing?
Extremely important. My father was my influence in getting into graphic design work. I don't think I would have ever gotten into it if it were not for him. Seeing him work on different projects so often just grasped my attention. My father was, before he was a graphic design artist, he was just a pencil and paint artist. Mm-hmm. So I saw him do so much of that in the years coming up, and it became an interest of mine. It's hard to put it in words. It's just something I grasped onto. Like I said, before I got to college. So I was doing that type of work when I got to college. Truth is, when I was in college, that was like a side gig I had. I would do things like that for people in college and make a little extra money. That was big. My father doing that was probably my only influence in doing it. But it got me to a point where I was able to do things with it.
Okay. And I see that a lot with a lot of students who are here, the important roles that their fathers or other men in leadership play here. We have the Kings of Excellence program, and they'll be walking down the hall and they'll see another person who's in that program with them, and they'll do a little handshake, and it's like, okay, what just happened? There's the only people in that organization that know that handshake, or just little things like that implement courage in them, that implement hope for them in those just little moments. And I can say that we're thankful for those influences that can get us started in careers like graphic designing or artwork or media or radio and television programs. So it's great to hear that you had a great influence in your life for that, bringing you into graphic designing, and then later on shifting into digital marketing. Now, how did you get into digital marketing after doing graphic design?
So when I got to college, started off at Florida A&M, but transferred to the Eastern Michigan University. And when I got there, I, like I said, was already doing graphic design work. When I changed my major, I changed it to computer science, which is what led to me doing websites and things of that matter, websites and applications, things of that nature. And if you were to put websites and graphic design work together, you kind of come to a crossroad that looks like marketing. Mm-hmm. So in order to be able to use both of those equally, I decided to dig into digital marketing.
Okay. And I also know that you're a Detroit native, of course. So how has Detroit played an influence in the way your art is cultivated or the way you run business now?
Detroit has been my heart for a very long time. We have this mentality here of going to work, of working hard, and that has always been my way of life, to work hard, to push forward, and to accomplish whatever I'm trying to accomplish. Detroit has that mentality has always been in me from my upbringing and from living in a city like Detroit.
Thank you for that. And we're going to wrap up here really quickly. But before we go, I want to again say thank you for joining us and for your word of advice. Can we get one last piece of advice for young men who are aspiring to be entrepreneurs or aspiring to have something of their own and cultivate so they don't necessarily have to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of their lives? And then after we do that, we're going to play a rapid fire question game, and then we'll go.
Okay, yeah, sure. If I were to give you a word of advice, I'll give you two words in particular. Um, One word is devotion, being devoted to the things you want to accomplish. And if that's having a successful business, then devote yourself to that business. And the other word is character. It is very important that us as a black culture grasp character and understand what it means to have character and understand what it means to do the right thing um, for yourself and towards other people. Character is just a very important principle to live by. So devote yourself to your business and devote yourself to whatever you're trying to accomplish. And in what you're trying to accomplish, make sure you carry yourself with character. That would be my word of advice.
Thank you. And I know a lot of our young men who are going to watch and listen to this will appreciate it because we go to an arts high school, which is it's not like an arts college or a school of music, dance, and theater or anything. This is very early on in so many of our lives. So it's very different going to an art school because this is a free-form career kind of school where you go for singing, dancing, media, artwork, graphic design, or whatever. And then once you get out there, it's kind of, oh, I have to create my own business or find my own networking and lane so I can do these things that I love to do. Not necessarily a trade or like going to Mumford or Cody or somewhere where you play a sport or you learn a trade or culinary or something like that. This is something where you learn to do the things that you like to do in the correct way so that when you are out there, you can navigate how to do it for yourself. So I know some of our young men will appreciate that starting so early in their lives with the free-form career that they're hoping to cultivate right now. And now we're going to play a rapid fire question game. Just really quickly, just random questions really quick. It'll be maybe 5 at the most. So are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so really quickly, what is your favorite song right now?
Ooh. I'll say, man, I don't have a favorite song.
Really?
We'll go with what show is out right now. I'll tell you what, my favorite song would be the intro song to Game of Thrones. Love
Really?
It. Yes.
I have never watched that show.
It's one of the best shows ever. You should check it out.
Okay, what's your favorite food right now?
I'm a Mexican guy. I love
Really?
Mexican food. Breakfast or Mexican, one of the two.
Okay, are you a morning person or a night person?
Neither. Whatever has to be done right now, I'm gonna do it.
Okay, would you rather prefer the summer or the winter?
Summer,
The
absolutely.
summer. Okay. What's your favorite color?
Navy blue.
Okay, and would you rather live anywhere else but Detroit?
No, but I'm considering moving elsewhere. No, I wouldn't. But at this time, I am considering moving.
Well, Detroit was put on the list of top 10 places in the world to visit, I believe, in Time magazine. I'm not sure, but we're moving on up, and maybe not to the east side, but maybe to downtown because that's where they're working at.
Well, my
But
heart will always be in Detroit. Even if I were to move, I'd be back here consistently.
well, thank you once again for being on our show today. We appreciate all of the knowledge and wisdom that you've given us today. Once again, you are watching Momentum Radio Show, which is an acronym for moving our men toward upper mobility. We thank you for watching and for listening. We hope that you subscribe and that you check us out the next time we come back with you. Until then, thank you and have a great day.